Here we go. What'd I tell you? You see, I freaking said this was going to happen. So if you watched my last video from yesterday talking about the Shill media blaming fans of Henry Cavill and fans of the Witcher books themselves for Blood Origin having such an embarrassingly low audience score, like we're supposed to feel guilty for disliking low-quality trash TV shows or something. You probably remember how I mentioned that so far, it was only 1 or 2 outlets that were going after the fans, but that it was only a matter of time before more joined in with them, and that eventually they'd start pulling out the big guns and accuse anyone who hates the show of being a racist once they realize that we aren't going to back down. You know, it's the same old play they've used a million times in the past to try and shield their corporate sugar daddies from any criticism whatsoever. They're so freaking predictable and will sure as shit always sink to that level. But too bad for them, they can throw every single buzzword the woke lemmings have in their pathetic little arsenal all they want. We're just not going to back down. If a studio releases an adaptation that shits all over one of our beloved IPs, we're going to let you know we aren't happy with it. And we won't feel bad about doing that. I mean, especially when I'm seeing articles like this here. Former Witcher producer claims some writers actively disliked the books and the games. Some allegedly even mocked the source material. Yeah, you see, and Hollywood and the woke mob on social media wonder why we push back so hard. Shit like this right here is why I always say that they are making so many of these adaptations that bastardize the original source material on purpose. It's because they're spiteful and they hate nerds and nerd culture. I mean, this is absolute bullshit to hear this. It's not like I didn't already know they feel this way, but to have confirmation just makes it much more infuriating. So getting back to it, I apologize that this is my 4th video in a row revolving around this awful show. But like I said yesterday, and I'll reiterate again, I will not just sit by and let the fake geek activists in the media, on Twitter, or anywhere else try to demonize the fandom once again just because we didn't like a terrible show. It is not our responsibility to just automatically praise whatever they happen to crap out. And no amount of buzzword slinging is going to make us do so either. We're the paying customers and they're supposed to be catering to what the majority of us are asking for. I mean, you don't need to be a business expert to understand you should want to please as many customers as possible. And as you can freaking see, the vast majority of fans do not like this show. But Hollywood has become so petty and vindictive that they no longer have any interest in pleasing the majority since they despise so many of us. Just remember, the only responsibility you do have is deciding whether or not these companies are worth giving your hard-earned money to. So anyway, let's get into this. The Witcher Blood Origin breaks record for Netflix's worst audience score. The Witcher Blood Origin has an audience score of only 8%, but many of these reviews perpetuate racist, sexist, and ableist talking points. These freaking people. The Witcher Blood Origin seeks to explore the beginnings of Andrzej Sapkowski's world, unpacking the conjunction of the spheres wherein the worlds merge, bringing monsters to man, the very first Witcher in the pre-collapsed elven civilization. However, this deep dive into the Witcher's past has become Netflix's lowest scored show to date, sitting at only 8%. For comparison, Netflix's first season of Resident Evil had an audience score of 22%, and Hype House clawed a score 4% higher than Blood Origin's at 12%. Well, that's only 1% higher now, as Blood Origin is now at 11%, because they've been getting a massive influx of fresh 5-star reviews. I don't see the media having a problem with that. Critics aren't too fond of this Witcher prequel either, as it sits at 38% from their reviews. All of this is especially so absurd because the critics don't even like this terrible show. But that doesn't matter to them. They think we scored it too low, which triggered their corporation defense mode. And plus, they just never hesitate to take the opportunity to further perpetuate their toxic fandom narrative. As reported by Forbes, this is something of a double-edged silver sword for Netflix. The Witcher Blood Origin is its #1 show right now, dominating the holiday season after its smash hit Wednesday. But while it's #1, the people watching it don't seem to be enjoying it. Yeah, that's because being #1 doesn't mean anything. It's really not that surprising since it's using the name of a franchise as beloved as The Witcher. But everyone quickly learned that it's just The Witcher in name only and is absolute garbage. Just because it was watched by a lot of people out of the gate doesn't mean people actually liked it. However, digging into many of the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and other sites, a common thread pops up: anger at diversity and the woke agenda, with many upset at the use of sign language, meaning that many of these reviews come from racist, sexist, and ableist standpoints. Sorry, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with being annoyed by utterly pointless box-checking diversity, especially when it doesn't fit in with the world and original source material, which means that the writers were taking it upon themselves to retcon lore that was established decades ago. They're playing with fire when they do that, and they know it. But they do it anyway because they hate the source material. One look at Twitter and several of these same sentiments can be found. People slating it for having a woman lead, decrying the lack of the male lead from the series set 1,200 years after this one, while others are upset at the woke casting supposedly copied from Rings of Power, which, as we all know, invented diversity. Of course, Rings of Power didn't invent diversity. Who the heck said that? Oh yeah, no one. Although Hollywood sure as hell loves to act like they just discovered diversity, always patting themselves on the back like they just discovered fire just because they have diversity in a TV show. And for the record, fans are sick of a specific kind of female lead, not all female leads. The kind we see all the time now. These absolutely wooden characters that lack any good qualities. They never have any flaws and they are never fleshed out in a compelling way. They're always just thrown in there and written as the bestest ever at everything. And nobody can relate to that. And then you have the fact that Hollywood has just become so anti-masculinity ever since Time's Up, Me Too. And pretty much every time there is a man in something, they're written to be completely useless and bumbling. And they're constantly outshined by these horribly written female characters. Hollywood just can't seem to wrap their heads around the concept that you can have competent men and women in shows and movies. And then we have this embedded tweet, which seems to have been the basis for this entire article. Watch out, everyone. Carmilla is on the case. She's found the racist trolls. I read 31-star reviews of The Witcher Blood Origin and skimmed more on IMDb. This screen below is one of them. They're mostly copy-paste of the same. So basically, racist and misogynist didn't like it. More reasons to watch it. Was it perfect? No. Was it fun? Fuck yeah. No. It wasn't fun, not even remotely. And she's got this big red circle around this paragraph like it's the ultimate gotcha. Yeah, I don't really see anything wrong with what was written in this red circle. They're just pointing out all the issues with the show, and there are many issues. Yeah, mainly the typical poorly written female lead lacking any qualities anyone can actually relate to. Whoever wrote this didn't say they don't like these characters because they are female or black. So until you find people saying that on a mass scale, and you won't, nobody cares. Alright, so that's it. I've had enough. I'm done here. They have nothing. Just grasping at straws as usual as they try to defend Netflix and demonize the fandom. Nothing new. And we're still waiting for actual indisputable proof that any of us are the actual buzzwords they accuse us of being. And outside of a few nutjobs, they never will. So anyway, let me know what you think of these morons in the comments down below. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and check out one of these other videos I uploaded recently. Or consider subscribing if you want more content just like this. I'll catch you all later.